feel like everybody's so individual and all of those things. I know lots of research, physical activity, it helps you with your serotonin, your dopamine, your oxytocin, your endorphins, all of those things. And they have that undoing effect on stress. But I think people's happiness is so subjective that what may work for you or for me may not work for someone else. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think like one of the most generous things that you can do for yourself is to find the activity or activities that actually do reduce
Right,
your stress,
right.
that bring you joy, that help you unwind, and hopefully healthy ones, because we don't want to be like, oh, gambling, alcohol, sex, shopping, like
Right.
those things.
Addictions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can be super helpful. Like I'm a huge fan of retail therapy. I don't know why she's giggling. I don't know why. It's not like I brought a whole car full of clothes here, but like retail therapy. But I think we have to be in tune with ourselves to say,
Hmm.
what is it that does help me and make me feel better? And so when you can explore that, and it's trial and error, can I be
Right,
honest?
right,
It's
right.
absolutely trial and error. But when you can find those things, the second like gift you give yourself is to actually practice them. And sometimes that
Mhm.
means you have to make space for you to get everybody's got a lot on their plate. I cannot stress this enough. It's going to be easier for some people than others to carve out time for them. But if you're not taking care of yourself, at some point you're not going to be able to take care of other people.
Right,
And
right.
so Carl asked earlier, like, when people are busy, you have stuff going on outside. I'll give you one of my tips. Before I had Mexico, I'll tell you what I used to do. I used to ditch work.
Mm,
I had three kids in school, and all of their activities, I worked for them. So I was their chauffeur, their maid, their personal chef, activity director, all of the things. And um,
as a single mom.
as a single mom of three boys, and of course they all went to different schools and had practice at different fields. It was just a lot. And so um, there wasn't time for me to be able to on a weekday, like, oh, I'll just go to happy hour with my friends, like
Yeah,
that's not
choice.
not an option. And so what I would do is I would have periodic ditch days. So on a random Tuesday, I would drop the kids off at school and be like, mommy loves you. See you guys later. Have a great day at school. And then I would take off. I lived in the Central Valley, so we were close to Santa Cruz, we were close to Napa, we were close to San Francisco, a couple day road trips. And so I'd go get me a hot and ready pizza at Little Caesars, because I also didn't have a lot of money because three boys.
Hmm.
Um, and I go sitting on the beach in Santa Cruz watching people play with their dogs all day, and eat my hot and ready pizza and have a good old time, and then maybe go to Napa, go wine tasting at one winery, and pack sandwiches for me and my one friend that used to ditch with me. We were always absent on the same days. I'm not going to say her name, but she knows who she is. um we go to San Francisco and buy $7 cable car ticket and ride the cable cars throughout the city all day long, just being free and
Hmm.
worrying about nobody but ourselves, because we knew our kids were taken care of from that 8 to 5 when we're at work. And so we would plan it. We'd come home right at 5 o'clock and we'd pick the kids up and be like, how was school today? Are you guys ready for practice? They're like, wow, mom, you look tan. Worry about yourself. Worry about yourself. Okay. Don't worry about why I'm tan. I worked outside today.
Hmm.
But, it was necessary. And I will
Right.
say I took these days responsibly. I wasn't like calling in sick all of the time to take these days, but I also knew that when I needed them, that's part of what my sick time was for, because my mental health,
Mental
again,
health.
is just as
Hmm.
important as my physical health. And so if I'm just feeling like I need a day to just be, that's what I would do.
Hmm.
That's what I would do.
100% agree with that. I've actually even encouraged coworkers take half a day.
Yeah.
Not only I don't know what it is about because I've done that too, is even just a half a day, having that empowerment in yourself to know that you can change your schedule from what the norm is, even if it was just a half a day, to just go get a Jamba Juice and sit at the park for a couple of hours and just be outside in nature or whatever it is you want to do for those 4 hours that you would have been at work. It's Cathartic.
The work will still get done.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to die. Um, and you deserve it. And I say act your wage. You know, that sick time is part of your compensation package. And so as much as we wouldn't like feel guilty about cashing our paycheck on our pay period, we shouldn't feel bad about taking that time off either because it's part of that compensation package. And so when you don't take your vacation and you don't take your sick time, you're basically working for free. You're giving your services up. And I don't mean to be like too dramatic about this, but I am who I am. So if you were to say perish from overwhelm, from stress, from whatever, your job will replace you immediately, sometimes before even the end of the week. But your friends, your family, they'll never recover from that loss. And so as much as it's important for us to work because we have to, you know, again, if anybody's independently wealthy and does this for fun, I'm looking for a friend. Um, I'm looking for a
More
benefactor.
friends, more
Yeah,
friends,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But you know, we have to work for a living and it's part of the way that we build the life that we want. But I'm real adamant that we can't work at the expense of living because
Amen.
we have to live and our work matters. Our work 100% matters. What we do matters and how we show up for it matters. But I just feel like we sometimes sacrifice our well-being for a profession. Um, and we give so much to just be successful in our jobs, but we can't do that at the expense of our success as a human being. And again, that's that balance. And
Mhm.
part of getting over that values of achievement over everything else, that blue collar mentality. If you're not busy and dog tired, you're not doing enough. We have to be able to let that go. And I think that's one of the things I appreciate about the newer generations is they're like, is this job going to interrupt my gaming time? Because that's what I do for my wellness and my socialization and how I, you know, the part of life that gives me joy. And so they're willing to advocate for, I want to work for you, but not at the expense of living the life that I deserve. And I think a lot of us, older generation, more experienced, seasoned, can take some lessons from that.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree as well. One of my outlets is music. Just, being able to access, my creative outlet and to be able to do the things that I want to do, being in two bands, I play maybe 2 or 3 gigs a month and have practice and those practice times, and the gig times are the time that I actually look forward to the fellowship, right? And to the connections that I've
Mhm.
made in those situations. So it's something that I want to do and that I'm looking forward to do. As much as I love what we do, it's not, I mean, the pay is minimal. I'm doing it basically for gas money and my bar tab, right? And, but that doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, I'm doing it because it's something that I want to do, that I freely choose to do, that has nothing to do with my mortgage or my quality of living in our family. So it's really something that and I gave it up for a while, being a single dad, of a from a, my daughter was 5 years old until she's now 24, but for about 10 years there I didn't access that, and it was definitely a void, right? And being able to get back into that and you know doing things that I enjoy doing, looking up lyrics and downloading them onto my tablet because I can't remember shit anymore, right? And charging up my in-ear monitors so that I'm sounding exactly how I want to sound. I want to relieve as much stress as possible when I'm up on the stage because it's already stressful enough being an introvert. I mean, I've been singing since I was 7 years old and I get stage fright every time, right? So, just being able to relieve a lot of that anxiety by just making sure I'm prepared and just cutting loose. It's such a stress reliever. I always leave a gig, feeling more fulfilled than when I got there. And that's something that, and I look forward to the next time or the next time we connect, right? And I find myself being more silly and just more spontaneous. And one of my bands, we're called Too Many Squirrels, right? It's just because we're in the middle of practice, and next thing you know, we come up with a song that we've never done before, but we play it really good. And now it becomes on our set list, right? And so just just having that outlet to be able to do that. And even in our other band, they're not squirrels and they need to prepare. We've worked some things that are more spontaneous into our set list, which makes it fun and makes it where people are, surprised on the stage. I always love watching the crowd and watching them sing along with the stuff that we do or dancing or being engaged with us. That really, is, something that as a helping professional, that's something that I definitely enjoy doing our classes, but to see the response from folks, enjoying what it is that we're putting out there and what I'm enjoying doing is just even equally rewarding and fulfilling. So I definitely hear you having those outlets, right? Figuring out what are those things that you can access and that will be sustainable, right? Which is something that I want to show you guys. You know me and my models and my activities, right? There's a handout that I give when I do my wellness classes, my mindfulness classes. There's a handout that I use that goes to what you were talking about, Tiff. Those 20 what do you do to relieve stress, right? And one of the activities that I have tables do is come up with their ideas of to relieve stress. And it's not something where everyone agrees or they have to agree that, yeah, I want to do this. It's, what do you like to do to relieve stress? Just brainstorm 20 different activities. Yeah, I give them 5 minutes, come up with those activities. And so people will just name the things that they enjoy doing. And then, as you can see, there's a place that asks, is it cost effective, right? Is it affordable? Because the things that I always hear or, oh, I wish I could have time to relieve stress. I work all the time and I have kids. And I mean, I wish I could go to the beach. I wish I could go on vacation. I wish I could get my mani-pedis all the time. But, who has the time? Who has the money? Right. So this is something where, when we call out activities to relieve stress, the majority of them are cost effective. The majority of, walking, breathing, sleeping, playing with your kids, seeing family members as long as they're not asking you for money, right? Some people say going to church as long as they're not passing around the plate all the time, right? Those things like that, right? So they're pretty cost effective. And then the next piece I say, okay, so, the other piece is time, right? So you've already identified things that you could do that may be cost effective, but then the time piece, those things that are really important to us, we always find time to make those happen. Taking care of our family, paying our bills, going to work, doing those things that are hobbies that we love. How can we incorporate wellness and self-care and make that a priority for us? Because society told us that's not how we're supposed to engage in life. But if we know that if we're not well, those other folks we're trying to help become well are not as impacted by us. So how do we make sure that that's something that we have that access to, that outlet, and put it into your idea of your normal life, right? So I love this activity. It's completely, it's simple, it's easy. It takes up 25 minutes, a half an hour. I when we're done, I ask people to, give me the answers and I'll write them on a flip chart. Or if we're online, they can use the Zoom annotation toolbar, and I blow it up enough so that they can write inside those 20 lines. And we always come up with 20, 22, 23, right? And then we go through it, and people have options. There's some stuff that people talk about that they haven't even thought of in years. Oh yeah, I loved doing crocheting. I haven't done that in a while since my grandma passed. Maybe I could get back into that, right? Or, yeah, we've been talking about walking and just how do we make that work? Well, I got to walk the dogs anyway. So, right. So just incorporating some of those ideas that maybe they didn't come up with, but they do enjoy and they just haven't accessed. So just those little things, it's always the little things that make the difference, right? And so how do we access the little things that can really boost our wellness and our immune system from burnout, right? So, just wanted to share that a little bit.
I like that those types of activities. I'm always taking it like a little step further because then I ask people, what keeps you from doing this?
Mm.
And then
Yeah.
what could you do differently that would make more space for it? Because again, to find time, asking people to find time for anything, I can't find time. I'm so busy. But how do you make time for what's important? And again,
Right.
people are different. I think Melissa's a scheduler.
I am.
Melissa's a scheduler, and so um, I don't want to, again, I don't want to speak for you, but here we are. So she can plan stuff. She's a planner. So she's got her calendar. She carries it with her. She plans. For me, that would be completely overwhelming.
Mm.
I've been
Yeah.
trying to, okay, you talked about Wordle earlier. Let me tell you, I've been trying to like, I had a 19-day streak on Wordle and I was so happy. I'm like killing it. And then I forgot one day and now my streak is gone. So I thought, it's just because I forgot to do it. It wasn't because I didn't get it. It's because I forgot to do it. And now my streak is gone. So I put it on my calendar. So I would get a reminder every day. Every day I just snoozed it because it irritated the shit out of me. But I had the stupid Wordle thing coming on at 7 in the morning. And I'm like, I'm not doing that right now. I can't schedule stuff. So me, for my like I do prioritize well-being, but it's spontaneous. Because
Mm.
if I plan
Mm.
for it,
Okay.
if I plan for it, it's going to stress me out instead of being less stressful. But I also know that not everybody operates like that because again, Melissa is a planner. So if you don't plan it, it might not happen, right?
Right. It helps me. It helps me it just helps my brain. So
Yeah. And so there's no one right way, is what I'm trying to
right,
say here.
right, exactly.
My point is there's no one right way for how you
No,
incorporate it. It's just
figure it out.
you do it.
Make it
And
happen for yourself.
and can I
Just
tell you,
do it. Like
Mhm.
Nike, if you want to sponsor us, Nike. Go ahead.
and just to build off of your Wordle thing, I think I have I don't want to tell you what my streak is right now because you'll hate me. But yeah, if I don't have a streak, it's very rarely it's because I didn't get it. It's because I forgot, right? And so I have
Yeah.
that streak, and I have like six people that I share my Wordle with.
Mm.
I just share them, put it up and they send it back to me too. So and that's really important to me to have that little community of folks that are doing the same thing and experiencing things and are cheering me on if I get it in two or three.
It's
I got
connection.
a
That's
one.
great.
I
Yeah.
got I got my first one about 2 months ago, which was cool because
Ooh.
I got to change my
Oh.
first word, right? So, but
Mhm.
just being able to share that with folks, and then the other one, the connections, right? So I have six people I share Wordle with. I have four people I share connections with, and it's a community where and that's what's important to me is having that shared connection with them, which makes me want to maintain the streak, right? It's something that now I do try to find time for, and if it's like 11:30 at night, oh, okay, well, before I go to bed, make sure I do my Wordle, right? So it helps me to stay on task. And some people task for Wordle. If I know that it's therapeutic for me, it's something that's important to me. And if you're going to try to tell me any different, I don't know what to tell you, right? So
No,
I'm
yeah,
doing it now. I'm actually doing it right now while I'm thinking about it.
well,
Go
I
ahead.
mean, it's so valuable because it's also keeping you connected to your people. And
yeah,
that is just that little bit. It's like you didn't talk to them, but it's like, hey, I'm thinking about you. It's like
yeah,
it's right there in your
yeah.
work. And one thing I was thinking while she's talking about me being a scheduler, if anybody out there is also a scheduler, I actually I use Chat GPT because I wanted to once I go back to work, I wanted to get a morning routine and figure out how to do it. And I actually put it into Chat GPT. I have an hour and a half. I want to journal, I want to meditate, and I want to exercise. Can you help me with a plan? Boom, I had a plan. And then and then I typed back to it that, that's great because it gave me 5 minutes of meditation. And the program that I use is actually 23 minutes. And I said, but I want to meditate for 20 minutes. A flat blink of an eye, I had a whole new plan with 20 minutes of meditation. It was amazing. And then on top of that, it said, do you want this in a PDF so you could copy it? Sure. Do you want it bullet pointed? Awesome. Do you want an evening plan to go with it? Sure. And so it's like all just like within, 5 minutes, I had a morning and an evening routine. And so if that's helpful to anybody, you could do that. And just, type in what you want to accomplish and what the time frame is.
So
and
I love it.
and that's
Right.
and if
And
people
I
aren't
don't necessarily have
schedulers,
to follow it.
yeah, yeah, and if people
Mhm.
aren't schedulers, just trying out the schedule to see. I mean, I have a to-do
Right.
list. I'm not a
Hmm.
scheduler. I'm a squirrel, right? Which means I'll forget the stuff that I want to
Uh,
do. So writing that down, I did I'm building a class for using AI in human services setting, and that's one of the things that I did was come up with a daily plan for these different tasks. I just put in a hypothetical idea of what
right.
needs to get done during the day, or just even I gave them a hypothetical scenario of a client who's got a GED, wants to become a nurse, and eventually wants to become a surgical RN. How do we, what
Oh,
is a welfare to work plan for that, right? And so ChatGPT will do that for you. It's amazing, right? And
I
so
love that.
yeah. And so it'll
Hmm.
put that
Hmm.
in there. You can give it to people and say, how does this work for you rather than follow this, right? How does this work for you? How would you be able to tweak it?
Right.
Okay, if you wanted to tweak it, let me enter something else in and then it'll adapt, right? So using technology
Hmm.
in that
Right.
way to
Yeah.
help solidify and smooth out some of the some of the bumps that keep us from accessing those things that we would like to do if we had the opportunity or
Yeah.
remembered to do them, right? Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah. Setting a reminder is not working, but I did get it in three. I got it in three today, so pretty excited about
Yeah.
that.
yeah, I was at 3 at 9 o'clock this morning. So
Sorry.
yeah, so cool. Congratulations. I wish I could share it with you, but somebody is unplugged. So, you know, she's I got to figure out a way to access Tiff with my daily Wordle, but that's all right. So we've
That's
come
true.
to
I'm starting to unplug as well. Hmm.
Yeah.
so we're coming to our top five, right? And all of this here is connected to our top five. So the top five is what are your top five ways to access your wellness, to unplug or to just feel
Mm.
rejuvenated, right? So, what are the top five things that you like to do, Melissa?
Well, I had to write it down because I had to think about this. This is new to me. So, but it is journaling, meditation, exercise. What else did I put on here? Just being outside, just go outside, and also just taking that time to not call it nothing and just be, and
Yeah,
just take that time to breathe and just enjoy the space I'm in. So,
Hmm. All good ones. I like meditation is a gem, which just on meditation real fast. If you've ever met me, you know that I am high energy and all like just a tornado all the time. Yeah. Just a tornado. I never turn it off. She sees me in the morning, she sees me all day, and then at night, it's nonstop.
mhm.
And but I didn't think I would be able to meditate. I was terrified of it for a long time. I'm like, there's no way I'd be able to slow all this down. And I've really found some joy in meditation. I use an app for it. I use the Calm app. Maybe Calm could also sponsor us.
Right.
Becky, who else have we? Laura Vandernoot Lipsky, author of The Trauma Stewardship, if you all want to give us a holler.
Right.
Um, but
Pfizer offers it free.
yeah, and
Huh.
that's what I was going to
That's all.
say.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm glad that you said that because a lot of health insurances now are offering the Calm app,
yeah.
and Kaiser
At
does.
no cost.
I,
Mhm.
I just
Yeah,
got my
and that's a big
notification from Kaiser that my membership had been renewed, like to Calm. So yeah,
great app. So for those of you like who have trouble sleeping, they have sleep stories, sleep meditations. Anyways, that's a whole nother
I
story.
use the rain at night.
The rain,
Yeah.
perfect.
Hmm.
So I'm all about meditation. I'm also water, not drinking it, but being near it. So going to the beach, a lake, a river, something where there's moving water is always like restorative for me. Prosecco, um, pop a bottle, and it's not just it's not because of the alcohol, but there's just something, I don't know.
It's an Italy thing.
It's a Italy thing.
Hmm.
It relax. It's the process of it. It's relaxing. It's makes you think of good things. Travel is another thing I do for relaxation. Just
Plan trips.
plan trips.
Hmm.
Get tickets for something. Have something to look forward to. Um, and I just love like the breaking of the routine. There's something for me about like not being in my normal setting that
Hmm.
helps me
Yeah.
like disconnect. And I'm gonna just say it, cuddling with my baby Dodger. We make out regularly. It's kind of disgusting. It's really gross
No,
because
they talk about petting your dog and how it actually prolongs your life.
yeah,
Yeah.
oxytocin.
Having a pet in your life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know if we should be doing full makeout sessions, but
That's
it's
what I
whatever.
call it too.
Yeah.
That's what I call it. It's like, can I make out with your dog for a little?
Yeah. Yeah. But he's a
Right.
good
Yeah.
kisser. I'm just gonna say
Mhm.
he'll clean your ears for you. If you got lotion too much, he'll come take it all off for you if you need it. He's quite a giver, that Dodger.
Well,
So spending time
as
with my
long
dog. I miss him.
as long as Mr. Salcido approves of that, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. So,
He likes
right.
to watch. I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness.
And that's our show for it. I'm just kidding. Kidding. Yeah.
Now we gotta change the rating too.
That's all right. You said
Yeah.
the F
Well,
word earlier.
I did.
Technically,
well,
this is a mature audiences only today.
Yeah, sorry.
well, YouTube and Spotify, they always ask, is this for kids? And I always say no, just, and I'll double click that today. So, yeah, no making out with dogs.
Wu-Tang is for the children, but not keeping it real. Keeping it
That's
real is
right.
not for the children, but Wu-Tang is.
That's
All right,
right.
what about you,
That's
Carl? What do
right.
you do? I know you sing. I know you sing.
Yeah. So
What do you
music,
do
just
for
music
that?
in general. Music, whether I'm performing or going to concerts. We love going to concerts. I'm like I said, I'm an introvert, so I'm not a big crowd person, but just being at a concert, singing along at the concert, watching, performers do their thing, that is definitely rejuvenating and it gives me some tips on things I should be doing too. Like, Gladys Knight, she'll sit down and sing. And I'm like, wow, I don't have to stand up the whole time. Okay. I mean, even though she's 80 now, but I mean, I can sit down every now and then. Okay, maybe I'll bring a stool up on the stage. Anyway, but and then podcast. I love listening to podcasts. I have a ton of podcasts that I subscribe to, whether they're sports or pop culture or things like Jay Shetty, who talks about a lot of wellness conversations with folks. I mean, he had Cardi B on a couple weeks ago. He just had somebody on.
Mm.
I think it was Judd Apatow, the comedy guy. He was this week, and those that did really does help while I'm doing other things to help me focus on those other things. Tennis, I like playing tennis. I don't do it as much as I'd like to at this moment, but when I do, I always feel better. Um, binge watching TV, Tiff and I always talk about binge watching. If you haven't watched the challenge, Tiff, you're missing out, right? They're about
Is it
halfway.
over yet?
No, it's about
I won't.
halfway.
Okay, when it's
You-
all the way, I'll watch it because I'm going to watch it over like a 14-hour period. So
Yeah.
I got to wait for it to be over. I'm not
Yeah.
waiting for the next week like
Well,
a peasant. I'm not doing that.
You
I'm
know, you
not
know what I
doing
just
that.
got into? My newest binge, my guilty pleasure. We talked about guilty pleasures a couple episodes ago. Love it first. Love is Blind,
Love is
and
Blind is
so
fun.
Mm.
I
That's
haven't.
fun.
I've never watched it, and I heard about it on a podcast. One of the podcast people we were talking about how it was funny this year, so I had to watch it, and now I kind of need to finish the season and then go back to all the rest of the seasons. But so that's a problem. But it's part of just being still. That helps me just to be still, right? And to to turn off the laptop or at least lower, the screen, to put my phone on the charger and just leave it alone, right? Because I'm always so connected. I always got something going on, just to be able to be still, right? And just explaining that to my family. Look, your time is out in the garden, or your time is in your room, playing games or whatever.
Mm.
Sometimes I just need to be still. As an introvert, I have to really protect that stillness time, right? And then one extra, which was interesting, is just something that just happened during the pandemic, making sure that the dishes are loaded in the dishwasher. Um, and I have a process, I have a system to do it. And I pre-wash and I do everything. And, people can't say that their stuff stuck to afterwards, because I make sure that it's thorough. And when it's thorough and when we have clean dishes, or just when the sink is empty, when the counters are clean, it's just this feeling of accomplishment that really helps me feel
Mm.
like I put in some effort, I contributed, and it's some people are like, oh, we contribute every day. Yeah, so do I. So do I. But it's just something that I realized because I used to hate doing the dishes because that was one of my chores as a kid, right? So, but now knowing that clean dishes and having counters free help people want to make dinner, help people not complain about being a mess and things like that, it really does help me with my idea of well-being and fulfillment of my duties as a contributor of the household, right? So it's become therapeutic. And then
Love it.
having conversations like this with Tiff on a regular basis and friends like you, Melissa, on a regular
Right.
basis or on a semi-regular basis. But
Yeah.
next time I come up to your county, we'll have to try something else out other than Timmy's. Although, I do need to try that satay, that peanut satay sandwich. I mean,
Oh,
I've been stuck on
it's
the
so good.
kimchi spam sandwich, which is amazing,
Uh-huh.
folks. And Timmy's brown bag of
Right.
Impossible. Yeah, I got to do it.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we'll go after so we can go to Solid Ground and turn you on to the chicken sandwich there and maybe have
Yes.
a little brew after work.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's frowned upon during work hours.
Yeah, we can't
You
do it
would
at
never do that
lunchtime.
during
Yeah,
work
we can't do
hours.
that. No,
No.
no. But we'll go have a chicken sandwich. Oh my goodness.
Get
Yeah.
chicken
Right on.
wasted.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken
All right.
wasted.
Well, any final thoughts, any tips of wisdom or witticisms from Tiff? Any hot tips, Tiff? You haven't touched any hot tips in a minute.
Just be a friend. Thanks, Melissa, for being my friend. I love you. Love you too. No, be a friend. And just know that taking care of yourself is not selfish. It's like one of the best gifts that you can give to yourself and the people around you. Um, just life is easier when you're feeling whole. And so when something's missing, you're just feeling out of sorts, or you just know that you're not feeling like yourself, like give yourself permission to just be vulnerable enough to say, I got to take time. I'm going to make time to make this right because I owe it to myself. I deserve it. And so does everybody else. And so when people offer you help, take it. Take it. Remember, that's a gift that they're getting to. They
Mm-hmm.
get the benefit of being a support system for you, and that's a generous gift as well. So
Yep.
we love gifts. We love gifts. We love giving the gift, and we love www.givingthegiftcoaching.com as well. I haven't done that for a while. I thought this was time, but again, just look, life is just so much easier if we care for ourselves and we care for other people. So if we can just be generous with that, magical things will happen. That's all. That's my last hot tip.
Self-care matters.
And you're
Self-care
right, too.
matters.
Yeah. And you're
Self-care
cool too.
matters, y'all.
Yeah. Self-care does matter.
It does. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Well,
it's
thanks so
necessary.
much. Yeah. Thank you so much,
Mhm.
Melissa. We appreciate you being here. And, you're welcome any other time.
That was great.
Anytime
Thank
you
you.
need to climb on to one of our podcasts and add, because you definitely added a
Certainly.
very special part.
That was
Yeah,
great.
we appreciate you.
I felt very
All right.
welcome and very comfortable. And I have my stage fright about podcasts, but I felt just fine.
Yeah. Just talking
That's
to Carl. No, we're all right.
that's what everybody says. Well, what
So
am I
look,
supposed to? I said, really, it's a spontaneous. We're just having a conversation, and you're just
Right.
bringing yourself to the conversation.
Exactly. Very go with
Yeah.
the flow and right. Yeah.
yeah, we have no structure. We're fine. But Melissa and I now are going to, as we get off of here, we are going to do a service for all of our listeners. We're going to try the Pina Colada Prosecco, and we're going to see. We'll
We'll
report
report.
back.
I need to know. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I'll
Take,
send you
take,
a text. But for
Very
take,
everybody
nice.
else, yeah,
no, take
I'll,
take a video and then I'll upload it as a reel. That'll work, right? So, listeners,
Okay.
you want to see the taste test of the Pina Colada
The
Prosecco,
first
right?
one
We'll
or the
make it
fifth
work.
one?
Oh,
yeah,
the
we could
fifth
do a
one would,
series. This is our first one. This
yeah,
is our fifth one,
yes. The
and then
fifth one would be
we're
gold.
gonna get jiggy
Yes.
with it. Yeah, and then we're getting jiggy with it. I don't know what's happening after that. So
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, have a safe trip back, Melissa. And until the next
Thank
time,
you.
I'm Carl,
I'm Tiff. That's Melissa.
Right?
We're
and
gonna
we
keep
are
it real,
keeping it real,
Whatever.
real mimosa. Yes.
real for show.